Good morning, children. So here we'll begin with second session of the chapter 1, food. Where does it come from? Here you have a suggested project and activity 5 of sprouting of moong. Activity 5 asks us to put water into moong and chana seeds and see what happens after 10 to 12 hours. Answer will be moong and chana seeds live in a dormant state, that is in a sleeping stage. When we put water to it, they absorb water and swells in 10 to 12 hours, and after 2 to 3 days it develops into small plants. We call this process sprouting or germination. The sprouted seeds are a good source of vitamins, minerals, and fibers. We should eat them regularly. If we eat them often, we all will remain healthy and active. So here you can see pictures of moong and chana. Next, very important food product which we obtain from animal is honey. So honey from beehive. Do you know where honey comes from or how it is produced? Have you seen a beehive where so many bees keep buzzing about? Bees collect nectar, that is a sweet juice, from flowers, convert it into honey, and store it in the hive. Flowers and their nectars may be available only for a part of the year. So bees store this nectar for their use all through the year. When we find such a beehive, we collect the food stored by the bee as honey. Now, next a video will be played for you to understand the working of honeybee in beehive, how they work and collect honey. Activity 6. Food of various animals. Answer. We see various animals and birds in our daily life or in the forest. These animals eat different types of food. Below table summarize the type of food they eat. Name of the animal: buffalo. Food the animal eat: grass, oil cakes, hay, grains. Cat, small animals, birds and milk. Rat, grains, fruits. Lion, animals. Tiger, animals. Spider, insects. House lizard, insects. Cow, grass, oil cake. Again you have grains and hays. Then you have human beings eating grains, fruits, vegetables, animals. Butterfly, nectar of flowers. Crow, carnivores, and they survive um, on various things. They survive on small birds, and other houseflies eats fruits, vegetables, grains, etc. Next, food habits of animals. Plant make ये भी दो में जाएगा.
The honeybee is one of the most collaborative insects in the world. Each hive is comprised of thousands of bees working together in order to build and sustain a colony. Within the colony, each bee has a specific role to play, a job, if you will. These are jobs like foraging for food, tending to young larvae, and building a honeycomb. But with a brain about the size of a sesame seed, it begs the question, how do bees know what specific job they need to do in order to keep balance in the hive? The answer is written into the genetic makeup of each bee. And it starts with the queen bee, who has the unique ability to designate the sex of her children, which plays a pivotal role in their future. If the queen wants to lay a female egg, she will fertilize the egg by releasing spermatozoa that is stored in the spermatheca, which sits behind her ovaries. The spermatheca is filled during her first week of life, when she mates with up to 20 drones, or male bees. If the queen wants to lay a male egg, she will not release any spermatozoa as the egg leaves the ovaries. And drones have a singular job. That job is to mate with queens from other colonies to propagate the species. When they're not trying to mate, they eat leisurely from the honey reserves and wait for a queen to go on her nuptial flight. Female bees, or worker bees, do literally everything else. They keep the cells clean, care for the larvae, build cells, tend to the queen, store honey, forage, pollinate, guard the nest, and even feed male bees honey if they're begging for it. Each bee knows what to do because their hormones activate the part of their genetic makeup that tells them what jobs they have to tackle and when they have to tackle them. They go through 4 phases of jobs before dying. In phase 1, bees go to work immediately after they emerge from metamorphosis, about 3 weeks after they're born. They begin cleaning the cells from which they emerged. After about 3 days, their hormones shift them into nurse bee mode. In this job, they feed the young brood that succeeds them. This lasts for about a week. Then phase 3 kicks in, and the workers become general handymen, moving farther away from the center of the hive and doing things like building honeycomb, storing food, and guarding the nest entrances. This lasts about a week. The final phase is the most dangerous. It's the foraging phase, where workers leave the nest to find pollen to bring home and feed the colony. This phase starts around day 41 and lasts until about day 50. After a short life of constant work, most workers will leave the nest as death approaches. The corpses of those that die inside the hive are carried out by undertaker bees. It's a thankless life for the worker bee, but this collaboration and process has made them one of the most successful superorganisms in nature.
Now we will see food habits of animals. Plants make their own food with the help of photosynthesis, which we have discussed. Okay, all animals including humans depend on plants for food. They either eat plants or other animals that eat plants. Animals are herbivores, carnivores or omnivores depending on what they eat. Herbivores, plant-eating animals like cows, horse, elephants are known as herbivores. Animals like squirrels and mice have sharp cutting teeth in the front. So animals like cows and buffaloes have flat and blunt molars which they use to chew and grind grass. That is called as mastication. Next, you have carnivores. Animals that eat other animals are known as carnivores. Example, lion, wolves, eagle. Carnivorous birds have strong pointed beaks used to tear flesh. Carnivorous animals have long, sharp canines to tear meat. Frogs have a long, sticky tongue which they use to catch their prey. Snakes, on the other hand, swallow their prey as a whole, and they have small teeth. Omnivores, animals that eat both plants and animals, are known as omnivores. Humans are omnivores. Some omnivores and carnivores do not kill other animals for their food. Instead, they consume the meat of animals that are already dead. Example, vultures, crows, jackals. Next, you have a table here to classify the various animals. Uh, the classification goes here like this: herbivores, carnivores, omnivores. So, herbivores: cow, buffalo, butterfly, squirrel, rabbit. Carnivores: lion, cats, spider, house lizard, owl. Omnivores: dog, rat, human being, crow. Now you have to think over this. Do you wonder what are we? If you eat the only plant, you will become a herbivore. While if a person eats both animals and plant, then he will be an omnivore. Human eats a variety of food. In general term, we say we are an omnivore. So with this, we end with the session, children. I'll see you next time. Thank you, children. Have a nice day.